Hi, this is Lynette with Creations by Connie Embroidery, and I'm going to be showing you how to make this coloring page with an additional option to attach a bag on the back for your crayons. For this project, you're going to need, of course, your embroidery machine, thread, cutaway stabilizer. You're going to need 2 pieces of your main piece vinyl measured 7 by 8 inches. You're also going to need a piece of white vinyl, and that's going to be approximately 7 by 5 inches. You're going to need 2 grommets for each page and 2 binder rings. If you want to do the additional pocket to the back, you're going to need a Ziploc bag. Any type of zippered style bag will work. I have found that the freezer bags are thicker than the regular bags, and they will hold up a little bit better to the stitching. Okay, let's get started. So your first step is going to be to hoop your stabilizer, and then on your machine, the first step will be to run your placement stitch. We'll run the placement stitch, and then we will take our first piece of the background vinyl, and you're going to lay it onto your embroidery hoop, and then you'll want to tape it down however you feel that you want to do that. Your second step will be the placement stitch for your applique. So you're going to take your white piece now, and you are going to place it over that, and you're going to want to tape it in place. And then the next step you're going to run will place this down. Okay, we ran the tack down step, and now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your applique scissors, and you're going to want to cut the edges of this off. You want to try to get as close as you can to the stitches without cutting the stitches. As you can see, I messed up a little bit and I just missed it, but I'm going to take a chance and go because I think it's going to be covered by the final stitch. Okay, and now we're going to run this to the machine, and we're going to do step 4, which is the design stitch. Step 4 to the design stitch is done, and now we're going to do step 5, which will add the border around the coloring page. The sand stitch is done, and now the next step, which is step 6. Placement for the eyelets are done. At this point, if you're going to finish it with just being the coloring page, you're going to flip this over, and you're going to tape this down, and then you're going to run step 7. If you're going to add the plastic bag to the back of it, then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to step 1, the original placement stitch, and we're going to do that first. The number 1 placement stitch was ran, and now we're going to take the zippered bag and we're going to place it on the hoop. So we want to make sure that the closing of the bag is going to be this way and the opening is going to be this way. You're also going to pay attention to the way the bag opens. There's a short end, which is usually the colored end, and then the longer end. You want to line this colored end up, the clear end up with this end. You also want to make sure that the colored part, the part that you can open, is not in that line where you can stitch it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Okay, see the clear part, the longer part will go on here, and the shorter end will be just below it to where it's not caught in that stitch. You're going to want to tape this all down so it doesn't move. I will zoom out again. Another thing that I'm going to do that I didn't put in the supply list is waterproof canvas. I just feel like this plastic might stick to the bed of my machine. So I'm going to go ahead and tape a little bit of this to it. And now you're going to want to advance your machine back to step 7, the final stitch, and we're going to go run that. One more thing you may or may not need to do, but in my instance, I need to do this because my hoop goes into the machine like this, and those are my connectors for it, and this is going to be in the way of it. So what I have to do is I have to fold this over, and I'm just going to try to fold it to where it doesn't catch in that seam, and tape it down off to the edge. You got to make sure it doesn't get caught in that final stitch. That way it can clear the bed of the machine. And we've completed that step. So now we will take all of this off. The wash away stabilizer just rips right off. Okay, now we're just going to pop this off. Oops, I caught the tape on it. That's okay. We'll just cut it off. We're going to take this out, and we're going to test this. And there we go. It worked. It did not get sealed in, and as you can see, that piece was completely captured by that final stitch. So at this point, you are going to cut this out, and then we will add the grommets to it. You'll poke your holes and then add your grommets in whichever way, whichever tools you have to add your grommets on. You're going to want to do that, and then your bag will be done. Okay, here it is all cut out, and you'll just trim that. You go slow over these because it's a little bit thicker with your scissors, so just keep that in mind when you get to that part. And then now we'll just add our holes and grommets. This is a tool that I use to add holes. You can get it from any craft store or online. It's just a leather hole punch. And then you can use whatever method you have available to set your grommets. Okay, here it is complete with grommets. Now we'll go ahead, place the other 3 together. At this moment, I only have 1 binder ring, so I have to get more. Place your crayons or your choice of coloring tools. Zip it up, and you're ready to go. Carry your crayons. You can write your names here if you use this type of bags. Easy peasy. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Check it out at Creations by Connie Embroidery, and also join the Facebook page. Thank you. Have a great day.